Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Joe Knows. We are going to conclude today our study through Matthew's chapter 5, 6, and 7, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. I want to just talk to you about a few more of what really we went backwards, if you remember. We started in chapter 7 and worked our way all the way back. And now we're at the beginning of chapter 5 where Jesus actually started the sermon. And we're talking about the Beatitudes. And I did the first 4 last week. I'm going to wrap up the second 4, and that'll take us through the entire Sermon on the Mount. But Jesus says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 7, blessed, and blessed again means happy. Blessed are the merciful. What does it mean to be merciful? Well, mercy is not giving someone what they deserve. So when it says, blessed are the mercy, it's saying you're happy when you don't try to even up the score with people. Someone hurts you, someone does something to you that you feel like you were wronged and you want to get even. Well, that's not being merciful. And that's being just. That's looking for justice. And you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. But Jesus says you'll really be happy if blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. And actually, when you are merciful with others, it comes back to you. In verse 8, he says, blessed are the pure in heart. What does it mean to be pure in heart? It means that your heart is real. Pure means that there's nothing extra mixed into it. And sometimes when our hearts aren't pure, maybe we talk to someone because there's something we want from them, or we have friends because they make us look good, or there's just something that we want. We have maybe motives that aren't exactly pure. But Jesus says, blessed are you when you're pure in heart, when what you say is really all that's in your heart. For those that are pure in heart, will see God. When you're pure in heart, and when you're able to be real with people and show them the real you, then that is what causes God to want to let you see him and find him. So blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Check out your motives. Think about why you do what you do, and that will help you purify your heart. Verse 9, blessed are the peacemakers. Okay, I heard this little analogy that, everyone in the church walks around with 2 buckets. One is filled with water and one is filled with gasoline. And when they see a spark, people can decide which bucket they pour on the spark. If you pour the gasoline on the spark, what happens? A fire just blows up. But if you pour water on the spark, you put things out. And Jesus is saying here, blessed are the peacemakers, those who don't try to stir things up, but those who try to bring about peace. They try to make peace, bring peace, for they will be called children of God. As peacemakers, we start to look like God's children. And then lastly, verse 10, he tells us, blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. Now, this is interesting because I don't know if you've ever experienced that. I've had it happen a time or two. Maybe not like the apostles of Jesus' day who were persecuted for righteousness, and actually all of them lost their lives. Well, the 12 disciples and many of Jesus' early followers. But it says, blessed are you, happy are you when you have the opportunity to be persecuted because of your righteousness. Now, if we get in trouble because we're wise guys or wise girls, or we mess around and do something and it comes back on us, that's not what Jesus is talking about. He's talking about when you're persecuted because you're doing what's right. He says you're blessed because, those that are persecuted because of righteousness, is the kingdom of heaven. He goes on and elaborates. He says, blessed are you when people insult you. What? Persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Jesus is calling out to those of us who are going to be persecuted because we're followers of Jesus Christ. He says, rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. In the company of being a follower of Jesus Christ, in the company of all the saints that have gone before us, there have been those who were deemed worthy of being persecuted for Jesus Christ, persecuted for the gospel. Many have been tortured, have suffered, have been mistreated, and some have given their lives. But to them, Jesus says, rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. And I'll tell you what, I would rather have little reward. I'd rather have a tough time here on earth if it means greater rewards in heaven, because this life is temporary, and heaven, when we die, when this life ends and we go to heaven, we'll be there for all eternity. So if you're being persecuted because of Jesus Christ, just remember your reward will be great. God bless you, and we'll talk next time.